Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you are well. So I am back to work on one of the covers because the other one I haven't stitched down yet, of course. That was fairly obvious. I wasn't going to do that. And I don't know, I've got a pink thread there. Okay, so I've got my thing here. And I've stitched all of this down, but not all the way there, just because I need to decide what to do with those bits. But I think I might stitch this here, and this here. So, and I was thinking I might use red and or navy blue. Grab my scissors. And I'm just choosing a red. Okay, maybe this red here. I think I'll stitch the label on anyway with this. I think I've got 3 strange strands. And those labels, I like to just put little stitches in the corners. We don't need them. I might do them in the center, we'll see. So how is everyone? I saw Anne's put her video up for the next tag. I haven't watched it yet, but we'll be watching that today. Okay. So these are just little laundry labels, as you know. I just love putting them on covers. Down the side here it's a bit longer, so I might just put 2 little stitches there. We don't want it popping up, do we? So how is everyone today? Hope you're all well. It's very warm outside. It's like 20 degrees. So Lila and I are going to go for a walk afterwards. Get the video done. I don't think that we're in spring. We're not going to be having spring weather. We are having spring weather now, which is confusing for the flowers, but this happens sometimes, and then we can still have quite a cold March. And sometimes since I've been here, it has even snowed in March. It actually didn't take me too long to stitch around. Didn't catch one of my threads, doesn't matter, because it's going to be glue, so I'm not worried about it. Didn't take me too long to stitch around the edge. It's just that I had to finish off some other things this morning as well, so I didn't quite get it done. And I'm thinking I'm going to do some running stitch around here. I'm just wondering what colour would I like. I think will I do red, or I might like a sort of navy Frenchy sort of blue around it. I think I might, don't know. Well, I know there, I always just do what I know first. So I know I'm going to just do some, I think I'll just running stitch across there. I'm keeping it fairly simple. I'm not going to go too crazy doing too much. So I could have stitched that down first before I started, but I've just decided to skip that step and just stitch it down with my running stitch. I mean, you could go bananas with this and embroider all kinds of details. You could do all kinds of things if you had the time. I feel like we need to get this project done though and move on to the next one. I've got lots of things I need to do, so but this is certainly something I'm going to explore a little bit more. I try and go as fast as I can. I'm not even talking very much today. I'm trying to talk louder so that so I've been asked, why don't I use a microphone? Well, I can't attach a microphone to the iPhone. One, I've searched and searched. There's no microphone for my iPhone, and I was recording with my iPad. However, that wasn't working for me, because I remember I made a silent movie because I had a microphone, and then the attachment gets faults in it, and then it doesn't work, and sometimes the voice was dropping in and out. So I just gave up on the microphone, and so we bought a better iPhone, and so it seemed to be working better. So I do tend to relax quite a bit, and then my voice goes down because I'm in relax mode. So I'm trying not to relax. I'm trying to stay a bit tense, so that way I can talk louder and you can maybe hear me better, some of you. I do recommend, and I'm not saying, one lady got angry with me once because I recommended trying headphones, and she was saying, how dare you tell me to go out and buy headphones? And I wasn't telling her to go out and buy headphones. I was just suggesting if she had headphones, that they do sometimes help. I do that. I put headphones in sometimes if I can't hear the person very well. Then, and every device is different. See, some people I can hear really well, some people I can't. It just depends on the device that you're watching it on. So I'm sorry I can't be loud for everybody. I'll talk to Steffi about it, but I seem to think that the telephone has had the best results. Like when I was doing it with the iPad and the microphone, I was having more touch and go results, in the sense that the voice would come and go, or you wouldn't hear it at all. So the other option is to buy a video camera, but I don't really want to go out and buy a video camera for videos, because sometimes I think they have time limits and things like that on how long you can video. And I noticed that a lot of other people video with their telephones, so with their iPhones. So I thought if I got a better one, then it would be better. So I'm nearly there. There you go. I talked you all the way through doing that. And I'm not doing little teeny tiny perfect stitches, just big dog's teeth stitches are here. It still gives you a nice effect. So hemp can be quite, depending on the thickness of the hemp thread and also the tightness of the weave, it can be quite a tough thing to stitch through sometimes. This one's not too bad. I'm thinking I am going to stitch that down. I'm thinking I might just like a few little rows of stitches here and there. So maybe just different lengths. So it's much easier. This one's not too bad actually. See, it's much easier than going through 2 layers. I mean, you could stitch through your paper base as well, but I think it's a bit easier to do the stitching before you glue it onto your base. my needle always is coming out. Okay. So just going a little bit beyond there. Do them all different lengths, my rows, and I'm only going to do 3, just until my thread almost runs out. I'm having a bit of a stitchy week this week. Okay. That's that. I do feel like I need... Oh, I haven't stitched around there, have I? What will I stitch around there? Will I do red or will I do blue? This is the blue I was thinking. I think I like the blue. I might do the blue around there. I might do a little row. I might do red. I'm going to do red around the image because I'm going to do... Just grab 2 strands. I might do blue around him here. I'm going to go along there and there. Or, no, will I? Or no, maybe I'm thinking I might just do 3 rows of blue along here, going across into the image. I've changed my mind. Well, that's something new, isn't it? Me changing my mind. So it's a bit like a quilting motion where you're just sort of pushing the fabric onto the needle. Oh, I'm having so much fun doing this, honestly, I really am. It's really a lot of fun. I think I'll go a bit further. And you'll see I tug at my fabric just because, look, when you pull it, it kind of gathers and you don't want it to gather. You just pull it out, stretch it out flat-ish, because the stitching does create a bit of texture. Now, just going to put my knot in there. And let's see here. Liking that. I need to stitch around here. Let's stitch that on so then I can decide what to do around the lady. And I'm just pulling from colours, well, yeah, that are kind of in this page. So there's reds and greens and blues and beige. I'm just doing a little running stitch around this. Nothing fancy. Okay. So let me recap. How did I print on the fabric? I used a removable spray glue. I'll just grab it so you can see it. I've shown you before, but there's lots of newbies. So I can buy this brand here. I buy it on Amazon, Icona. That was my chair. Adhesive spray removable. Okay, so that's what I've used. And you just spray it on your cardstock, put your fabric on, iron out your creases. Like, not with the iron, just smooth out your creases is probably the better terminology. Smooth out your creases. Trim it flush with the paper, because you don't want any fabric overhanging. You don't want any stringy bits or anything like that. And then put it in your printer, whichever way it needs to go. Like, I print on my HP. I've got an 8710 Photo Smart Pro, and it was not very expensive. I don't buy. I always end up buying the middle of the range product. I don't buy really expensive things. So I bought it with the money that I got back from the Epson 2600, I think I had. And remember, it broke after 6 months. So I used the money that I got back. And that the PhotoSmart Pro was on sale. So I got a really good deal on it. So I haven't tried fabric in my Epson. I've got the 2750 Epson now. As a printer, as the quality of print, I prefer my Epson than I prefer my HP to the Epson. I like the colors better. But that being said, the Epson is still pretty good. And what else did I want to say? I think I will go around her with the blue. Or will I go with... I can't decide. I just can't decide the red or the blue. I know the red pops more. I don't want her to pop. I want her to stay there. No popping allowed. We're not popping. Now, do I want to go on? I think I'll go around the outside edge. Many decisions to be made here. Too many. Going to make my brain explode with all these decisions. Now, we're talking about the printers. So, yeah, I print in my HP, not my Epson. Although someone who has a better, I can't remember who it was. I think maybe a subscriber has a higher quality Epson than I do. And they have printed on different, I don't know if they've printed on fabric, but they've printed on different types of papers. I'm too scared to put anything in mine because I've heard different people saying that their Epson didn't appreciate it. So as I've got the HP, now the reason why I've got two printers is because I'm very dependent on my printers, obviously, and I just feel like I need two because if one collapses, I've got the other one. So, and you know, one's good for one thing and one's good for the other thing. So I like having the two different types. When I'm doing, like, you know, lots and lots and lots of printing, I use especially the Epson. When I want to do sort of almost better printing, I use my HP. Depends. It depends what I'm printing, which one I use. But the HP takes the tracing paper, the vellum, fabric. It's a bit of a workhorse printer. So I'm just running stitch around the outside. A bit boring of me to do that, but that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Oh, look, I can... Oh, getting tangled. I must have a bit of nail there, getting my thread tangled. That's all right. And see, I can see the edge down there, so I need to go down there. I need to trim that up. I've got a bit of nail there. So I have been overwhelmed by all of your kind comments. I know I keep saying it in all my videos lately, but honestly, I keep getting more really encouraging kind comments after the bodgy week that I had. the other week, and you're just all so kind, and I just don't even know how to thank you all for all your support. And I think I just have to say it every video. That way you'll know, you can't forget. Right. And I haven't seen Coco today. I've been missing Coco, the little fluffy white dog. Such a cutie. Okay. And then we will have a look and see what else there might be to do. Okay, let's see. So, and it's always a good idea just to close it a little bit too. I feel like I could do it with a little row of stitches there. I think I'll go back to my beige thread. And I've kept my blue one threaded just in case I want to use it. I'm just going to do just a few little rows here. Nothing, not too much, just a little bit. Be fairly quick. I'm only going to do it until the thread runs out, so unless I only get 2 and that, but I want 3 rows. Okay, we're going to go down to the next row now. So this is all very simple stuff that anyone can do. We're not doing anything too complex. And I might, oh no, I don't want it to be too regular, so I might just end it there. Okay. Right, so that's that. Now, the other thing I was thinking, another cool thing to do is I don't want to go all the way around the edge, but I was thinking just a little bit here and there. I'm going to see what it looks like. Don't think I want to go all the way around, but I was thinking, like, you could do excuse me, 3 rows of running stitch all the way around if you wanted to, but I felt like that would be too regular. So I'm just thinking I might do oh, screaming child, did you hear that? That's a little one. That one's only, it might be only 2. I say that one because I don't know their names. I think they have names that I can't pronounce, so I haven't asked. I just want to do some random little stitches around the edge. So I guess this is kind of like an overcast stitch. Or I just call it a whip stitch because you're whipping over it. Kind of makes it looks like they're rags, that they've been stitched together, the rags. These people would not have had rags, the ones in the portraits. They lived in palaces. And they had famous artists do their portraits sideways. Profile. That's what I mean. Not sideways, profile. Showing all their jewels and what other interesting things can I... Oh, well, I'm trying to remember. So during the Renaissance, I think even in the medieval times it could have been, So in Italy, probably in other European countries as well, a sign of a woman's status. There are many things that I can't remember all the things. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to do a bit more. I think I'll stick with the blue. I was thinking I could mix it up with red and blue, but I don't think I will do that. So like you can see her here, they had porcelain skin. So that meant that they didn't, work the land. And they had very high foreheads. So their hair was always pulled right back and they had to have a high forehead. And of course their clothing, these were all symbols of their status. They were the fashions of the time for the ladies. I'm trying to think what else there was. There were quite a few things. I've forgotten some of them. But definitely the porcelain skin was very important. It was an interesting time, the Renaissance, because previously, if you look at art in the medieval times, it was always like sort of religious. I'm not going to go, it's all going to just be bits here and there. It's not going to be all in a row. It's just going to be random. They were all religious scenes, like maybe the life of Saint Francis of Assisi, or the life of Saint John the Baptist, all that sort of thing. And it was really for, I'm sure lots of you know this, it was really for people who were illiterate, that couldn't read. In the churches, they would be painted with all the scenery, so that way they knew the biblical story. And so, everything was, the church was the centre of the society. But during the Renaissance in Italy, and it was born in Florence, with the Medici family, and the families became very powerful, the individual families, and they became very wealthy and with banking. They were the first merchant banks, and they started to, like, when you start to look at the religious paintings, like if you go to Chiesa Santa Trinita in Florence, that's a perfect example. So I can't remember that. Oh, it was the story of, it was a miracle. It was a miracle that had been performed. A girl had fallen out of a window and she had died, and by miracle she had come back to life. And and that's the whole cycle of what happened. It's like a whole chapel. And it's the Sassetti chapel, actually. And the Sassetti family were a really wealthy family in Florence. They were I think they were friends with the Medici. And so this was a new thing to have. No, they had family chapels before in the important churches, but the new thing is they'd have the religious scene, right? So this is the miracle in this case, but somewhere in the chapel within the scene you would have, below the scene you have a portrait of Mr. Sassetti and his wife, side profile like these ones. And they've become, the families have become so important that they have themselves included in the religious scene within the church, which was really an incredible thing, because they never did that before. And so anyway, there's the miracle of this girl. And if you go to it's Chiesa Santa Trinita in Florence, and if you go and look at it, have a good look at the square outside. It's not really a square, but the street outside the church. And there's the Ferragamo shop there. It's in Via Tornabuoni in Florence, and it's right near Ponte Santa Trinita, near the Arno. And if you go inside and then look at the Sassetti chapel, you will see exactly the street. You can see the building where the Ferragamo shop is today. And it's depicted in the painting in the mid-1400s, I think it was. I think Ghirlandaio painted it. It might have been 1470s or 1480s, it could be. Can't remember exactly. So you see the street depicted. So the girl is being revived. She's revived, and she's sitting on a bed right across the road from the Ferragamo shop, although the Ferragamo shop wasn't there at the time, of course. And then the other interesting thing is, like, there's Piazza della Signoria, and you can see it exactly how it was on that date. And then and there's another scene, a religious scene, but then there's all of the important, there's a whole lot of portraits of all of the important people in Florence at the time. So there's the Medicis, and Lucrezia de Medici's in there. Yeah, there's all of the really important people at the time, and they're all depicted in the middle of the religious scene, which is just really was unheard of before. So and so you can see portraits of them all, and then it's very important historically, because first of all you can see the streets as they were exactly on that day or that year when it was painted. Who knows how long, I can't remember how long that they took to do the fresco cycle. But also you got to see the fashions. You got to see what the people kind of looked like because they're portraits, and you got to see their hairstyles and the beautiful dresses that they wore with the fabric. So that tells you also about, like, they've been able to through painting to see how fabric design has changed as well. You can kind of document, you have to refer to, quite often there's not so many super old fragments left, and so then they are able to see how fabric design changed through time through paintings, especially from the 1400s on, when they started to include portraits of people. So I found that really interesting. And the other thing I found interesting when I was studying art history in Florence was that the popes in Italy at that time were quite often from, there was a pope that was from the Della Rovere family, and there was a Medici pope. There might have been two Medici popes, I can't remember. I know Saint Pope Clemente was a Medici pope. And maybe Farnese pope. There were all kinds of, from the very big, famous, important families, and they were quite naughty, the popes. Let's say they weren't doing the things that they should be doing, if you know what I mean, like what they're preaching about. They were getting around, let's just say that. And they were, if you look at the portraits, there was one, I can't remember which pope he painted, by Raphael. I can't remember which pope he painted, but the pope, if you look at the painting, the pope is in this luscious outfit with fur, and he's got his hands on the big throny sort of chair, and he's got big jewels on his fingers, and that's not what religion was teaching, to be all wealthy and full of glory and that sort of thing. And Pope Julius was the one who commissioned Michelangelo to do the Sistine Chapel, and he also had Michelangelo working on this enormous tomb for himself, which was like this huge monument, a huge elaborate monument that was meant to go in St. Peter's. I don't think Michelangelo actually didn't finish it. It was his life frustration that he didn't get to finish it, because then he was forced by the Pope to go and do the Sistine Chapel, and he didn't want to do it because he said he was a sculptor, he wasn't a painter. And then he had to go and study all of he had to go to study frescoes, because that wasn't his thing, and he had to learn the good fresco technique so that his frescoes didn't fall off the wall, because if you didn't use the good fresco technique, then your frescoes would fall off the wall. So it's just a very interesting time where I think the wealthy became more important. They were so powerful and important that they even were more powerful than the church almost sometimes. I really did love learning all of that stuff, you might have noticed. And they were quite diabolical, they really had no shame in doing bad things. Like, if they didn't like their wife, they poisoned them, they got rid of them. And if they didn't, when they were, I'll tell you what else happened that was really interesting was the Pazzi family in Florence. They were rivals to the Medici. They weren't their friends. And what was his name? I've forgotten his name. There was a cardinal. This is how bad they were. There was a very big important cardinal from Rome, and he plotted with the Pazzi family to assassinate Lorenzo and his brother. Now, I've forgotten his brother's name as well. Lorenzo il Magnifico, and his brother. And so they organized it, and it was to happen on in the Duomo in Florence, in the cathedral, on Sunday Mass. They went in, like, it was full of people, and they went in with the cardinal and the Pazzi family, some members of the Pazzi family, and they had poison on the dagger, and they went to attack Lorenzo and his brother. They killed his brother, and Lorenzo was saved. And so then it was, I'm not even going to go into what the Medici family did to all the conspirators against them, but I couldn't believe when I learnt that story. It was called the Pazzi Conspiracy. You can look it up, Pazzi. It's very interesting, but I couldn't believe that they, like a cardinal would be part of organizing such a thing. I mean, it was just unbelievable. But it was, the power was much more important than anything else. So here we go. Nearly there. You see, I've chatted you all the way around the piece, haven't I? We still might not get it finished today. This one. Well, we might. I think this is going to be the last stitching I'm doing. So then I need to glue it onto my thing. Oh, no, we won't get it all done today. Or we might. I'll see. See how long it doesn't matter how long the video is. You can stop and start. You don't have to watch it all. You can flick to the end if you want to. It's not obligatory to watch every single minute. Okay, so I'm nearly done here. I just got to finish off this one piece, and I'm quite happy with this. And now I'm going to get my glue going and glue it. Oh my goodness, I can't see for looking. I probably should trim that wispy bit off. There you go. Got a bit of a what I can remember from what I studied. It was a very long time ago that I studied. I will say that. It was, when did I do my course? I did 2 year. It was called antiquariato. It was like really fine arts, I guess. It was to work in a, learn how to value things and write catalogues for auction houses and that sort of stuff. But I loved the art history as well. And so here's my piece. And so, yeah, so that, I mean, I don't remember everything, but I remember a lot because I really liked it. I cried when I finished. It was a two-year diploma. I did it after my uni degree, and it was just something that really interested me. But and also I'd met Stefano, so it was great. I had best of both worlds. I had met Steffi, and I was studying this wonderful course. Okay, so I'd really like to use my PVA glue here, if it's going to cooperate. And I do have somewhere. Where have they gone? Now, where have I put them? Oh, over here, I think. These spreader things that someone suggested. These are very good things, because I can't dry those out, can I? So let's just, well, actually, before I glue, I'm going to, I just want to see first. I'm going to see, do I need to stitch anything else down? See, I could stitch those down. Well, if I have to stitch them down, I'll stitch them down afterwards. So that's what it's going to do. It's going to go on there like that. Okay, so we can get that. We can just go for it. Let's just go for it. We'll see what happens. You live and learn. Of course, no, doesn't want to come out. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to open it here. I need quite a bit anyway. I don't want it to seep through my... I don't want it to seep through my fabric, but I can put a little blobby blob here. See how I go. Let's move this out of the way. takes a minute to get this all down, and hopefully it doesn't dry before I get it all down. I think I can see gooby bits in there. That's what's, I think they're all catching in the thing. Probably need to filter my glue, which is annoying. A bit more there, a bit more down there. Oops, I've got a big blob there, but I can lift it off. Not going to panic. Oh, you see, it's those bits. Let's just wipe those bits over there. Not that it really matters here, because you're not going to be able to feel them through the fabric. Just want to make sure I get it everywhere. That was a big blobby goober. There. Okay. That's covered fairly well, I think. Good. So, now, let's see what we're going to do here. Oops. It's going to go there. Needs to come up a bit there. Okay. I'm just going to remove this. I should close that. I'll just put that on there. Oh, that's not right. Doing it the wrong way round. That goes on there, and then that on there. Okay, I'll put this aside. I'll clean that afterwards. And now we're just going to flatten this out. Okay. Let's just flip it over and have a look. Yep, good. Just want to make sure it all sticks down. Great. So that's going to go, see, that's going to be like that. So then I can decide if I want to trim those off. See, that's going to come up a bit, so I'll have to stitch that down, or I can glue it. Oh no, I don't have to stitch them down, because you know what, I'm going to stitch around it with my sewing machine when it's dry. I'm just going to do one stitch. I know, I mean, it probably would look better if you did a hand stitch, but I'm just going to do it with my sewing machine, because I know it'll definitely hold it. And I want to grab my what's it called? My scrapbooking paper. So I'm just going to throw that piece out. Actually, it's got the big blobby glue on it. And I'll just put the lid on there. And I'm going to grab my scrapbooking. We don't need all of these things here now. We don't need any more of the stitching stuff at the moment. I'm just going to move it out of the way, if you don't mind. There we go. I'm going to hop up and grab my scrapbooking paper. Oh, it's here. I put it in the wrong spot, you see. I went to get it in the right spot, and it's in the wrong spot. It's here. I wanted to see what bits I had here that will fit. Leave the fabric scissors away, otherwise I'll keep wanting to use them. I just want to see, so this is the outside. I'm very happy with that. I like the bits of stitching around here, random, like that. And I'm going to flip it over. And I want to see here, what bits of this do I have that might fit? That doesn't. It's in the style that we're doing. So I'm not going to put it up on the table because it's too big. And I might not have anything appropriate. I might need to actually cut into a big piece, because I have used a bit of these things, haven't I, in the past? That's not going to be long enough. That was a folded one already for a signature. They're not quite tall enough, you see. What I need, that's Christmas. We don't want Christmas. They're not wide enough. So I might have to pause the video and pop over and grab my bigger pieces. Yes, I don't have lo and behold, I do not have big enough smaller pieces. So I'm going to pause you, get what I need, and I will be back in a second. Okay, so I'm back. So I'm thinking one piece I'm going to use is from Ledger Pad. I don't know who is it by. Don't know. Oh, Prima Marketing. So this paper is lovely, and it's, I might use that one. I won't fuss about too much. It's but it's white on the other side, so I like to use it for, you know, the inside covers of things, and it's very, very thick too. So now what I need to do first of all, before I do that, is I've got my cutter here as well. I'm very organized, and I've got this wonderful old piece. This was like a, I think, oh yes, this was a, look, it was a sheet. It's just cotton. I think it's just a cotton. I'm getting all tangled here because I rip it. But it's just a cotton, but it's a very heavy, slubby sort of cotton. I really like it, and it's fairly old, I think. And so what I'm going to do is just rip this bit off where the seam is, because I can use that for something else. And I just love putting this in the spines of journals, of old books and things. I just love it. I don't know why, but I need to glue that down first. Actually, I could have it coming over if I wanted. Anyway, I'm going to rip it about that wide. I'm going to rip the whole thing because I'll probably be able to use the other piece on the other one, because I'm thinking forward, you see. So I'll put that, I'll just chuck it over there. Chuck. Okay, and then this is going to glue down here. I think I'll have it go, will I have it go under the cardstock or over the cardstock? I don't know. Maybe I better not glue it down until I choose my cardstock. But no, then it determines how wide my cardstock should be. So I don't know. Just a minute. Let's get rid of the things, these, while we think about it. Okay, so that's that. That's going to go there. No, I think I have it go under because I'm going to put pockets and things, and so I don't think I need to have that peeking out. So let's glue that down. I'll sit down. Okay, and I'm going to just take this off again because it's not cooperating with me today. Put that there. Although I would prefer to have that working. Let's try. Shall we try? Won't take us 2 seconds to, because what I like to do is just, I put this here, then I measure. Of course you're not coming out, are you? Silly glue. You're very silly. There's a bit. I'm getting a bit of glue out. I'm not getting as much as I'd like, but I'm getting a bit. That might be enough. Don't need that much for the fabric. Just grab the lid. So the good thing about these silicone makeup brushes is you don't have to wash them right away, and you can, but it just all comes off when you do go and wash them. Because I was just drying out brushes. I only buy the cheapo brushes for the gluing, but I was drying them out every 5 seconds because I always forget to wash them. It's just something that's just, I just can't, I could never get over it. I would just never remember. There we go, that's glued down there. So that's where that spine is going to be, is not going anywhere. I've glued that down fairly well. Probably should put a little bit more glue under here, just make sure there's no air pockets. That seems to be all right. That's just fluffy bits. Okay, so now I need to figure out, so I'm going to have a little bit of a spine there. Kind of need to see from here. So I think I need to, oh, where's my paper? Here. So I need to trim my paper. Let's just see again. This is how I'm going to measure it. Just, I mean, because you've got the fabric there, so you don't have to have it being perfect. And you just want it to go to about there. So we'll trim that. I did it on the white, so I didn't get a mark on it. And I'm just going to choose another one. This one, I think. This one from that lovely, I've still got a little bit of that left. Oh, let me just measure how big this was. This was, I can't see, 12. About, no, 10, a bit over 11 and a half. A bit over 11 and a half. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. It's not really a problem. So that's that. I'll put that one in the front, I think, because that'll be pretty when you open it up. That will go there. And so what height am I doing it? There's my mark. So it is nearly 22 and a half. Let's see. Nearly 22 and a half centimeters. Okay, you keep those. They're good for pockets, for other projects, if not this one. And that's going to glue on there, you see. How quick was that? And we're going to have a bit of a gap there. Like, you're going to be able to see the fabric, which is nice. And we're going to have our things. I really wanted to construct one today, so I hope this video is not too long. I have no idea. I don't know how long I've been here for. I like to use my stronger glue for this. PVA is very good. The only difference between, I think, between the PVA and the other Eileen's tacky glue and Fabri-Tac is it just dries a bit slower, but it does. I have tried to take things off that I've glued on with this, and it just, everything rips because it's just glued on so well. It's very inexpensive compared to those other glues. I do have the Eileen's tacky glue. I quite like that when I'm gluing pockets and things, that just because you get a little bit, you get your results a little bit faster. Like, it takes a hold fast is what I want to say. That's what I want to say. So I think I'll do my other one off camera. It'll be a surprise. It'll be very, very similar to this one. It's just going to be, I'll just do it off camera. Because otherwise we don't want all these long videos doing similar things. Okay, that one. Now I need to get, did I put enough glue on it? I was being a bit stingy with the glue. Only because I couldn't be bothered to stay there and squeeze it out all that time. Now, I've got some, I have some cards here somewhere that I've just got all these things on my table that don't need to be here. I just want to make sure. I am going to stitch around it, so I'm not too concerned about it. Okay, I need a bit of glue under there. Even though it's going to be stitched, but I'll wait for it to dry because there's quite a lot of wet glue there, so I don't want to stitch around it yet. Okay, so that's that. And when it's dry, it's a little bit bendy still, but when it's dry, it will stiffen a bit. Okay, so let's try this one. Make sure I get enough glue on this one. And yes, that's the, I'm just checking, was just checking. I think I might just maneuver my glue on a different piece because this, otherwise I'm going to get glue everywhere on it. I think I'll just put it on here. Spread the glue out. Great things, these. Silicone makeup brushes they are. Who knew? I didn't even know they existed until one of you lovely ladies told me. Can't remember who it was. Was it you, Karen? Did you tell me? I can't remember. That's going to go there. going to glue those 2 pages together. We don't need those. Right, so that's that. And that's going to be stitched around. Now I'm wondering, should I stitch around it? And then see. Now, the other thing I wanted to do was, I want to turn that in. I'm going to turn that in. I'll trim that off, I think. And do I want to trim that? Oh, I think I'll turn that one in. Oh, I've stitched that to there. Well, I think I'm going to turn those in. Let's see. Or do I want them to stick? No, I think I want them to stick out. I could just turn that one in. I don't know, just turn that one in. So I'm just going to actually glue that. I'm not going to stitch it. I'm just going to glue it. And it will be caught when I'm stitching the other. I'm going to leave the other one sticking out. So that's that. Give you a bit of interest in there. And let's see what else. I'm quite happy with this being longer like that. I quite like that. And let me just see here. I could turn this one in. Let me just have a look. Maybe both of those, yeah. Oh, I've got to stick that one first. And then they will stitch down as well. But it's a nice, easy way to get a little bit of fabric peekabooing inside there. Really like that. So that's going to be like that. We don't need quite that much spine. Okay. Okay, I'm just having a look. Oh, I love it. Okay, so then I wonder if I should wait. Now, where's my book? Where is it? No, that's the other one. Where's the other one? I wonder what I did with the journal. What did I do with the journal, everyone? Where did I put it? Is it under my stuff here? Is it under? No. That's the birdie one. Can't find it. Maybe I took it in there. Oh no, here it is. It's under. Here it is. It's this one. This one's going in there. Is it? Is that the one going in there? I think it was. No, maybe it's not. Yes, it is. That's the botanical one. This one's going in here. So what I need to do is I'll find the center, and I really wanted to put the elastic in. My only issue is these bits here, because the elastic needs to fit around there, and I can't. So what I need to do is stitch it first. This is what I'm trying to figure out. I need to stitch it first around everything, and then I'm going to put the elastic in. So I think we'll do that tomorrow. I'm going to let it dry. I don't want to. I've got a lot of wet glue on here, so I don't want to stitch around on my sewing machine with the wet glue. I'll let it dry a little bit, and then I'll stitch around it, and then when I start my video tomorrow, we will do the elastic bit. So that way it's removable. If it's put in with the elastic, it then becomes removable. What I need to do is trim these. They need to trim at an angle like that, if I can manage it. See, my envelope, this envelope was not quite big enough. But I really wanted to use it as my base, because you've got little bits of the envelope peeking out down below. So you can see it's recycled. I really like it, and it will stiffen quite nicely, as I said, once it's dry. So, okay, we'll do that part of it tomorrow, but we started to construct the cover, and I'm very, very happy with it. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'll try and get the other one done today. Well, no, stitched, not done. I'll get it stitched, and then we can finish these off. They need to be finished. They need to be filled and finished. That's what needs to happen. Oh, maybe I need to put my pocket here too before I stitch. Might do that as well. So I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Got a little history lesson for free. Or what I could remember. I don't remember everything perfectly. Anyway, I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.